Hello fellow travelers, here we are on beautiful Lake Coeur. It's a little windy today, so hopefully this video turns out. But we are going down to the St. Joe River. So as you remember, we did the St. Joe River last summer when it was beautiful, and now we're going to see it in the fall. So come with us as we explore the St. Joe River on the beautiful ship, the Coeur d'Alene. Alright, it's pretty windy out here, so I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking, but I'm going to show you the views as we go through the beautiful St. Joe River. So let's check this out right now. The first thing that we're going to see on our trip is the bridge that's part of the Trail of the Coeur d'Alenes. The Trail of the Coeur d'Alenes is 73 miles, and it starts in North Idaho and ends in Plummer, Idaho. The trail was originally part of the Union Pacific Railroad, and they abandoned the railroad in 1991 and made it into this trail. The bridge was originally built as a swing bridge, but when the railroad abandoned it, they actually raised the bridge and fastened it into place so it doesn't move anymore. It's always fun to go under the bridge. And here we go under the bridge. Hold your breath. We made it. And from here on out, we're in the channel of the St. Joe River. Okay, so we're coming up on some bald eagles. So let's check these birds out here in the tree, and I'll try and zoom in as close as we can. Normally in the winter, Lake Coeur d'Alene does not freeze because it's so big. And this means that in the wintertime, bald eagles can live here, hunt and fish, and find their food supply. So in the winter, you can see a lot of bald eagles along the lake shore. So we're just cruising along down the St. Joe River. It's a beautiful fall day here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. After almost 3 hours of being on the boat, we've arrived in the beautiful St. Joe River. So I'm going to share this long clip with you so you can see how beautiful this river really is. As our boat sails down the St. Joe River, I'll play tour guide, and I'll tell you some interesting facts about the river and the historical area. The St. Joe River is 140 miles long, or 225 kilometers long, and it begins in the northern Bitterroot Range of eastern Shoshone County, and it drains into Lake Coeur d'Alene. From Lake Coeur d'Alene, the water goes into the Spokane River, and then the Columbia River, and then the Pacific Ocean. Now this is up for debate, but locals here in Idaho will tell you that the St. Joe River is the highest navigable river in the world, with a mouth elevation of 2,129 feet. And where the St. Joe River begins has an elevation of 6,487 feet. So it's definitely very high above sea level. Because of the beauty of this area, in 1978, 66.3 miles of the river were protected as part of the National Wild and Scenic River System. So of that, 26.6 miles were designated as wild, and 39.7 miles were designated as recreational. The area where the St. Joe River flows into Lake Coeur is a state park. That's Hayburn State Park, and it's part of the Idaho State Park System. It's not uncommon to find fishermen along the St. Joe River. Here you've got cutthroat trout, whitefish, you've got rainbow and brook trout, and kokanee salmon. So there's a lot of fish living in this beautiful river. And on the shores, there's lots of animals too, as we saw the bald eagles, and there's deer, bear, and moose in the area. The St. Joe watershed is covered by forest. Here you can find Douglas fir, larch, and pine. You'll also find alder in some of the wetter areas. Because of the vast forests along the river, at one time this area was highly logged. In fact, if you keep your eyes open, you'll see remnants of the railroad that used to come through here. So what they'd do is they'd float the logs down to a ramp, and they'd put the logs on the train, and the train would take them to the mill where they'd be sawed into boards. So all of that's gone today, and it's grown back, but there are still remnants in the woods. So look closely and you can see old pilings for the railroad, and you can also see a couple of railroad cars that were actually abandoned and still sitting along the riverbank. Historically, the Coeur d'Alene area and the St. Joe River were home to the Coeur d'Alene people. Coeur d'Alene is actually a French name meaning heart of an owl, AWL. Supposedly the French traders gave the tribe the name Coeur d'Alene because one of their chiefs at the time was very stingy, so they called them the Coeur d'Alene tribe. The Lewis and Clark expedition even recorded the name Coeur d'Alene for this Indian tribe. And today, much of Lake Coeur d'Alene and the St. Joe River are actually located within the boundaries of the Coeur d'Alene Indian Reservation. So in my personal opinion, the Coeur d'Alene people live in one of the most beautiful areas in the entire world. I'm done talking for now, so let's just go ahead and take a look at the views and enjoy the beautiful St. Joe River. I hope you're enjoying our scenes of the St. Joe River. We filmed this video in mid-October, and we were a little surprised to see that most of the trees along the St. Joe River had not started to change. So only when we got halfway down the river did we start to see different colors in the trees. So we're at the point in the trip where it's time to turn the boat around and sail back to Coeur d'Alene. So from here, it's a 3-hour trip from the St. Joe River back to the city of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. If our boat were to continue further down the river, we'd come up on the city of St. Mary's and eventually Avery, Idaho. And that's our trip down the St. Joe River. It's a beautiful day, so now we've got a 3-hour trip back to Coeur d'Alene.